All right, here we go. The playoffs. Doubleheader in the West tonight and the doubleheader tomorrow afternoon in the East. The Warriors are 4.5, and look at the total, 232. Now, the great number from Matt Humans from VSiN, it's 31-4. Last couple years, you bet ATS, you bet the home team in Game 3 that's down 0-2 first half, although it's 31-1 if you don't include Golden State, because Golden State's responsible for 3 of the 4 losses. You think the markets know that? Look at the first half line. It's pick 'em, even though Golden State's 4.5 for the game. 26 of 28, they've knocked off the Pelicans. The Pelicans have been great ATS, and they got the money in Game 2. They played well, but still couldn't win, although the Pelicans aren't happy with the officiating. Free throws so far, 59-20 in favor of the Warriors, and Curry will be back in the starting lineup. He was plus 27 in Game 2.
Yeah. Welcome back, Steph. Here's a plus 27 for your first time back on the floor. But you talked about that free throw disparity, 59-20. If you've watched this series, it's not like New Orleans has been a placid team and the Warriors have been the clear aggressors. Pelicans were fairly aggressive in Game 2. Didn't get the whistles. In fact, in Game 2, the duo of Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday combined for a grand total of 0 free throws. The goose egg, that's the first time that's happened since they began playing with each other 5 years ago. And of course, New Orleans is saying the right things, just go out there and play. It's on the refs to make calls. This is Anthony Davis. They said I didn't get fouled, so maybe I have to go in there a little stronger and force them to call them, meaning force the refs to call them. Rondo talking about the free throw disparity. Quote, both of those guys, Davis and Holiday, shot the ball a combined 48 times. I think we were attacking, but that's not an excuse. We got the shots we wanted. Our guys were aggressive, and things will turn, hopefully, for Game 3. No question that New Orleans, the point spread cover in Game 2 is in a lot of ways the best the Pelicans can hope for. You know what I mean? They lost by 5. If you look at New Orleans down the stretch, this team's been a point spread juggernaut. 5-1 against the spread in the playoffs, 9-1 against the spread their last 10 ball games. But when you look at the Pelicans' second half of the season at home, stepping up in class, they weren't winning these games. They really weren't. Their role was as a road dog. As a home dog, these weren't the type of contest that New Orleans was coming away with.
How about the total? Game 1, it opened 223.5. Now it's 232. Remember, the pace is crazy, and Gentry said we're not going to change anything after that crazy pace in Game 1, and it flew over in Game 2.
Sure, they played even faster in Game 2. And, of course, now, as you mentioned, we've got Steph Curry back in the starting lineup. Steph off the bench was a difference maker in Game number 2. Now we've got Steph in his normal role. Kerr, quote, you don't keep a guy like that on the bench for long. His knee is fine. That's the good news. The bad news is that he hasn't played in 5 weeks. Any sort of minutes restriction was only based on his conditioning. There's no holds bar in terms of his knee. When you think about that conceptually, Golden State with their starting point guard back on the floor. Game 2 played at an even faster pace than Game 1, which is played at an extremely fast pace. You say over. But then you wonder, and I do wonder about this. Curry on the floor back in the starting lineup for the Warriors. You can't say it's a negative, but is it a neutral? Does he have that same rhythm with his guys? Game 1 on the highway? I worry about that a little bit, and that's probably enough to keep me off the over in tonight's game, even though we can expect another torrid pace. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.